If you watch my upcoming Nintendo Switch games for the month of May video, you would know that one game I was excited for was Team Sonic Racing, the latest Sonic the Hedgehog racing game coming to us from Team Sonic and of course Sega. Now, Sonic the Hedgehog has been making the news rounds lately, and it's really not for good reasons, because of the Sonic the Hedgehog movie. Jesus Christ, who thought that was a good idea? But obviously Sonic is still a popular commodity, and honestly I've always enjoyed the Sonic the Hedgehog racing games. I even enjoy Sonic R. Can't you feel the sunshine? Does it brighten up your day? Like, I think that soundtrack is absolutely fantastic, and I will always say Sonic R is a fun game. But obviously Team Sonic Racing was a bit of a different Sonic racing game. It has team in the name. It's based on teamwork, and I wasn't really quite sure how this would actually transform when actually playing the game. Would this be a fun mechanic? Would it feel tacked on? Would it make the game better, or would it make a game worse? So I've been playing some Team Sonic Racing, and I definitely have a lot of things I want to talk about with this game. So is Team Sonic Racing a game that you should pick up for the Nintendo Switch? Is it a worthy kart racer that you should add to your collection? Sit back, relax, make sure you subscribe to the channel, and let's talk about Team Sonic Racing for the Nintendo Switch.
Hey, RGT85. Hey, Sean.
Oh my God, it's Stevie Richards! Now, before we get into the actual game review of this, I do want to give Sega some props for the physical edition of this game. Now, this is a $40 game, so it is a budget title, and you wouldn't really expect much with this. When you buy Nintendo Switch games and you open them up, the inside is just white and boring. But on this game, there's actually information, and I really like that about this game. When you open it up, it basically gives you some different information on how the teamwork aspect works within Team Sonic Racing. On the other flap, you have the different wisps, and the wisps are basically the items that you acquire while playing the game and racing around, and it tells you what these different wisps do. There's also a little advert for Sonic Mania Plus in here, and some information about Team Sonic Racing additional items that you can purchase. But simple little things like this make collectors want to buy physical games, in my opinion. This is the reason why I like buying physical games. Obviously the days of instruction booklets are long gone, but I like little things like this. So kudos to Sega for including this in the game. So when you start out Team Sonic Racing, more than likely you'll want to get into the story mode of the game. And why is there a story mode in a kart-based racing game? Because it's Sonic the Hedgehog. They have to put a story in everything. The story of the game is very, very simplistic. Basically, there is a character named Dodonpa who brings everyone and Sonic and his friends to this island to do races, and it seems nice and cool at first, but are there sinister things afoot with this? I mean, obviously, it's a Sonic the Hedgehog game, and there's always sinister things afoot. But basically, the way the story mode works is to just sort of introduce you into how the game plays. You're doing different missions, and they give you different criteria that you have to meet. Now, obviously, Team Sonic Racing means that this is a team-based racing game. So how does team racing work in an actual racing game? I kind of equated a bit to NASCAR. You're basically doing different things, like you have 2 different characters on your team alongside of you. So there are a total of 3 characters on the team. And your goal is for everyone to finish as high as possible in the rankings at the end of the race. So you're doing different things like doing boost strips. And basically when you're driving along, people can boost and drift behind you, sort of like in NASCAR. There's a tailwind that they can catch up and they can go faster along the racing. Of course, there are the wisps that we just talked about. The wisps range from things like boost to different things like rockets that you can acquire to hit other enemies. And basically how that works is you can actually exchange your wisps with other people. So if you have a wisp and you're in first place and you're just sort of cruising along and you don't really need to use this wisp, you can actually offer to give it to a teammate, and then a teammate can accept it and then move up if they're in the back of the pack or something like that. And you can do it vice versa. You can actually ask your teammates to give you a wisp if they have a wisp, and it'll help you in the long run. Doing things like exchanging wisps and helping out your teammates will build up your ultimate meter, and when your ultimate meter is built up, everyone gets a massive speed boost where you just fly around the track pretty much with invincibility on as well, and you can really change the tide of the race by doing this ultimate ability. So at first it can be a bit jarring, I feel, trying to understand the team racing aspect, but after a few races it actually becomes pretty seamless and very fluid. I actually kind of like the team racing aspect of it. It sort of makes this game stand out as a bit of a different type of kart racer than your standard kart racer, so I do enjoy this aspect of the game. I think it's something that they could potentially build upon in the future if this game sells well, because I think it's a pretty cool selling point. Now obviously when you're doing these different races and the story mode, you are also acquiring credits, and these credits can be used to upgrade your vehicle either cosmetically or the beef of the vehicle, the things like the engine and stuff. You get different credits by doing better in races, and then you can take these credits and exchange them for capsules. Each capsule is a randomized item that costs 10 credits, and basically what these credits do are, like I said, you get different upgrades, either cosmetic or engine upgrades. Now everything is randomized, like I said, so I kind of like that though, because it sort of makes it so that you keep wanting to play the game in order to unlock all of the customization stuff for all of the different carts, because everything that you unlock via the capsules is locked into a certain character and that certain character's cart. So whether it's a different skin for their vehicle, or whether it's an engine upgrade or a tire upgrade, it's all indicative of the actual character, not necessarily across the board like something with Mario Kart 8 is. So I do like that. There was a few times where I ended up getting duplicates very early in the game, and I was kind of like, okay, like there's a bunch of different characters, there's 15 different characters, why am I getting duplicates already? That seems a bit silly in my opinion, but I digress. Now, although this is Team Sonic Racing, you would think that the primary focus would be on team racing, and while it is, there's still a lot of stuff where you could just play it sort of as a normal racing game without having to worry about the team aspect. In the main story mode of the game, you're actually doing the team stuff most of the time in order to get different stars, and the more stars you get, the more levels you unlock while playing through the story mode. But there are some things where it'll just be you, and you'll have to get things like get a certain amount of rings and a time limit, and then get a better ranking in order to unlock more stuff. So I do like that. It's a little deviation, but it definitely extends more into the actual single player and online multiplayer and local multiplayer racing aside from the story mode. So the game does offer local multiplayer and of course online multiplayer. You can also do random races just by yourself if you want to do that, and you can actually choose whether you want to do a team-based race or a single-based race. So I think that's pretty cool, honestly. It sort of makes you have to worry less about the team aspect of the game, and the online multiplayer is actually pretty good. There's a lot of different game modes that you could play. Things like your standard racing games, things like King of the Hill, where whoever is in first place for most of the race ends up being the winner of that race based on time, and it's just really well done. There's ranked modes, there's casual modes as well. You could choose whether you want to do team-based modes or just single-based modes. It's actually very well done. It's simplistic, of course, but it is well done. Now, as far as the actual game and graphics are concerned, I think the graphics are pretty good. You know, the game does run at 30 frames per second on the Nintendo Switch, and it runs on up to 60 frames per second on the base PS4 and Xbox One, and it runs at a locked 60 frames per second, I believe, on the PS4 Pro and the Xbox One X. So the 30 frames per second, though, does work for me on the Nintendo Switch. I'm not a frame counter by any stretch of the imagination. I assume that the game is a bit smoother on the PS4 and the Xbox One, but, you know, it does look great on the Nintendo Switch. Everything looks nice and crisp. There's a lot of cool different levels that you're playing as. I really like the casino-based levels in this game. I think they have a lot of flash and flare, and the racing is very well done as well. You'll be drifting around at 30 frames per second with really no problem. But if the frames per second thing is a big deal to you, you might want to check out the PS4 and the Xbox One version of the games. But like I said, everything captured in this video is being done at 30 frames per second, so it is indicative of what you will see in the actual game. The game also looks great in handheld mode as well. Very crisp, very responsive in terms of controls. You'll be drifting around, having fun, picking up different wisps with pretty much no problem. As far as complaints are concerned with the game, I have a few. They're pretty minimal, I feel, but they are worth talking about. One thing is just sort of a personal thing, is I miss the old Sonic racing games where they incorporated a bunch of different characters from the Sega universe. All you're getting in this game are Sonic-based characters. And while it's cool to see Vector, of course, from Knuckles Chaotic in this game, he's probably one of my favorite characters, I do miss seeing other crazy characters from Sega franchises incorporated in this Sonic racing game, like Sonic All-Stars Racing. I thought that was really cool how much character variety you had in this game. And of course, you have the fact that this is basically just a kart-based racer. It does feel a lot like Mario Kart, and so if you're kind of burnt out on kart racing games, I don't think this game is going to do anything different in order to change your mind on the genre. It doesn't really bring all that much crazy stuff to the table. The team aspect racing of the game is very interesting, but really at the end of the day, you're just trying to finish in first and hope that your teammates can do well by sharing items and of course doing ultimate attacks. But really, I like this game. I thought I wasn't going to like it as much as I have been, but I think it's a really solid racing game. It's fun, there's good level variety, the graphics are pretty good, the gameplay feels very nice, fluid, and responsive, and I like the customization aspect of the game. There's a lot of different stuff to unlock as far as kart customization, and it's just a really well done game. It's not going to be a super memorable game or anything like that. It's obviously not of the pedigree of something like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, but for 40 bucks, I think you'll get some fun out of this game. It definitely looks good, it definitely plays good, and really that's all I look for in a racing game. So Team Sonic Racing, I'm going to give it my stamp of approval. I definitely think it's a game you should check out because it's it's honestly fun, and that's at the end of the day what a racing game is all about to me. Having fun, looking good, and playing well. So those are my thoughts on Team Sonic Racing for the Nintendo Switch. Definitely a game worth checking out if you're a fan of games like Mario Kart, you're waiting for Crash Team Racing to come out. This is a game worth checking out in my opinion. So let me know in the comments section down below if you are interested in Team Sonic Racing for the Nintendo Switch or on other platforms like the PS4 and the Xbox One. And as always guys, thank you for checking out this video. If you are new to the channel, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications. Check out other videos on the channel. We just talked about Resident Evil 4 yesterday on the channel. Assassin's Creed 3 is next in the pipeline for the Nintendo Switch stuff. And of course, June upcoming Nintendo Switch games is coming up. So you could totally make up for the case if you did not watch my May one, you could watch the June one, and I'll definitely appreciate it. And as always guys, I will catch you guys on the next video. Later.